The Fall of Yoda, Shadows of Dagobah, Final Clash. Blue and red blades clashed in a burst of sparks, lighting up the swampy darkness of Dagobah. Luke Skywalker's breath was heavy, his arms burning as he pushed against the twisted form of Master Yoda, now Darth Vorn. The air crackled with dark energy, thick and suffocating. Every strike from Darth Vorn was precise, fueled by a malevolent power. Luke's mind raced, trying to process the nightmare before him. This was the master he had come to learn from, the legendary Yoda, now lost to the dark side, corrupted by the dark nexus hidden within the planet. "Struggle, you do!" Vorn sneered, his once calm voice now a cold, cruel rasp. His red saber cut through the air, slamming into Luke's with unnerving speed. "Futile, your fight is. Power, the dark side holds." Luke gritted his teeth, barely blocking another strike. The force of each blow sent him stumbling backward. The swamp around them pulsed with the dark side, vines twisting like serpents, mist swirling unnaturally. Creatures in the distance howled, warped by the same power that had corrupted Yoda. "Yoda, this isn't you!" Luke shouted, his voice echoing through the shadowed landscape. "The dark side is lying to you!" Darth Vorn cackled, his small, sickly green form moving like a blur through the mist. "Truth, the dark side reveals. Weak, the Jedi were. Blind, I was." His eyes, once filled with wisdom, glowed an unnatural yellow, burning with a hatred Luke had only seen in his father. Luke deflected another strike, the force of it sending a shockwave rippling through the swamp. His heart pounded. He could feel the pull of the dark side growing stronger, tempting him with promises of power, whispers that mirrored the thoughts that had led his father to fall. But Luke refused to listen. "I won't fall like Anakin did!" he shouted, his determination flaring. He spun, bringing his saber down in a wide arc. For a brief moment, he saw hesitation flicker in Yoda's eyes, a fleeting memory of the Jedi Master who once was. But it was gone as quickly as it had come. Darth Vorn let out a furious growl, lunging at Luke with renewed ferocity. Their sabers clashed again, lighting up the swamp in a violent dance of light and shadow. Luke's arms shook under the pressure of Vorn's assault. Every strike seemed heavier than the last, each one drawing Luke closer to the edge. He could feel the darkness pressing in, trying to suffocate him. The weight of it was unbearable, threatening to crush him under its power. But he couldn't give in. "You can still come back!" Luke pleaded as he struggled to keep his balance. "The dark side can't give you peace!" Vorn's face twisted in rage. Peace? A lie. Peace was power, control. These, the only truths are. His saber came crashing down, nearly knocking Luke's weapon from his hand. The swamp seemed to close in around them, the trees warping, the very air thickening as if the planet itself was feeding off Vorn's corruption. Luke's mind raced, searching for a way to reach the Master who had once stood as the embodiment of the light side. Suddenly, a surge of energy exploded from Vorn, sending Luke flying backward into a twisted tree. He groaned, pain shooting through his body as the world spun around him. Vorn stood over him, red saber crackling with power. "End, this is young Skywalker. Your destiny to fall it is." Luke could feel the dark side closing in, pressing down on him like a crushing weight. For a moment, he felt hopeless. How could he fight this? How could he win? But then, something stirred within him. The teachings of Obi-Wan and Yoda echoed in his mind, reminding him of what the Force truly was. It wasn't about power or control. It was about balance, about hope, about the strength to resist the darkness. Luke closed his eyes, exhaling slowly. He let go of his fear, his anger, his doubt. He let the Force flow through him, calm, pure, and full of light. When he opened his eyes, the blue glow of his saber reignited. He stood tall, facing Darth Vorn with renewed resolve. "I won't let the dark side take me, and I won't let it take you." Darth Vorn's snarl deepened, but before he could strike, Luke surged forward. Their sabers clashed again, but this time, Luke wasn't fighting from fear or desperation. He was in control, his movements guided by the Force, his heart steady. As their blades locked, Luke reached out, not with his saber, but with the Force. He pushed past the layers of darkness that had consumed Yoda, searching for the glimmer of light that remained buried deep within the corrupted master. For a moment, time seemed to stand still. Darth Vorn's eyes flickered, the yellow glow dimming. His grip faltered, his red saber wavering as a look of confusion crossed his face. "No!" Vorn muttered, his voice shaking. "Resist! I cannot power, I must have..." But Luke didn't relent. He could feel it now. The small spark of Yoda's true self still fighting beneath the crushing weight of the dark side. "You're stronger than this," Luke whispered. "You don't need the dark side. Let go." The swamp around them began to shift, the oppressive darkness that had filled the air thinning. Vorn staggered back, dropping his saber. His body trembled, and the yellow light in his eyes faded, replaced by the familiar green. "Young Skywalker," Yoda rasped, his voice weak but his own again. "Fallen I had, but saved you have." Luke rushed to his side as Yoda collapsed to the ground, his small body trembling, weakened by the years of corruption. "There's still time to fix this," Luke said, his voice hopeful. Yoda shook his head slowly, his breath labored. "Too late it is, the dark side, a price I must pay." He looked up at Luke with a sorrowful expression. "Failed you, I did. Do not follow my path." Tears welled in Luke's eyes as he watched the frail Jedi Master struggle for breath. "You didn't fail me," Luke whispered, placing a hand on Yoda's shoulder. With a final pained breath, Yoda's eyes closed. His body grew still, the corruption that had plagued him finally gone. But so was the Jedi who had once been the beacon of the light. Luke stood in silence, his heart heavy but his purpose clear. He would honor Yoda's memory by walking the path of the light, no matter the cost. If you're enjoying the story, consider supporting me on Ko-fi, https://ko-fi.com/tales from the Holocron.